On September 14th, an indictment has been filed against President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, with 3 counts relating to possessing a firearm while using drugs. RJ Camacho has the details.
So this is where we enter the twilight zone. But it's a twilight zone, again, everything is a point of observation. A twilight zone to a mainstream journalist will be perfectly bloody logical to someone who's done 50 years or so, or 25 years, or how many years it is of research into something. This is an important point about perception. One of the greatest ways that humanity is controlled is by the suppression of the sense of the possible.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio. I'm David Preston.
And I'm Roy Rousseau on this Friday, September 15th.
All right, welcome to the show. You are watching Axiom series on the Wild Bill YouTube Network, WBYTN. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everybody, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to WBYTN, and share this content with your friends and family. But I also would like to remind the viewers what is meant by Axiom series, the underlying truth. And what is meant by Axiom series is that there is always at least one other side to a story. Despite what the liberal media might say, there's usually more than one side to a story. More than 2 sides, even. You can't always believe the first thing that you hear or what you were told, especially in this day and age when the liberal thinking refuses to look at all sides of a story or report on all sides of the story. So on today's show, I was watching YouTube and I caught this video from the channel KPVM, Southern Nevada News Network, SNNN, and they have reported that Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, has been indicted with 3 felony counts related to perjury. They call it false statements, making false statements, related to lying about his drug use. He Hunter Biden has been a self-admitted crack addict, and he purchased a firearm back in 2018, and anybody on crack with a firearm is definitely a danger not only to himself and the people around him, but to the general public. And that's what makes these charges very serious indeed. Because from what I understand, maximum penalty could be as much as 25 years to life, even, stuff like this. So all you liberal people that think this might be Russian disinformation or misinformation, as all you liberals try to say, let's give a listen to the report. What has been reported by the Southern Nevada News Network.
The details.
On September 14th today, President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was indicted on federal firearm charges for a gun he bought back in 2018 where he was accused of lying about his drug use. During the period in 2018 when he bought a firearm, Hunter had acknowledged struggling with an addiction to crack cocaine. The 3-count indictment filed Thursday, September 14th, by special counsel David Weiss alleged that Hunter Biden lied on a required form for gun purchase when he bought a .38 caliber Colt Cobra Special. All 3 counts are as follows: 2 counts of making false statements, 1 for checking a box stating that he was not addicted to drugs, and the 2nd count for handing the form to the shop for their mandatory federal records. A paragraph from the indictment reads, "Defendant Robert Hunter Biden provided a written statement certifying he was not an unlawful user of and addicted to any stimulant, narcotic drug, and any other controlled substance, when in fact, as he knew, that statement was false and fictitious." The 3rd and final count is in relation to the gun, alleging that he possessed the gun for approximately 11 days despite knowing he was a drug user. Another paragraph from the indictment reads, "On or about October 12, 2018, through on or about October 23, 2018, in the District of Delaware, defendant Robert Hunter Biden, knowing that he was an unlawful user of and addicted to any stimulant, narcotic drug, and any other controlled substance, did knowingly possess a firearm, that is, a Colt Cobra .38 SPL revolver. The counts in question are punishable by up to 25 years in prison should Hunter be convicted. However, a statement from special counsel David Weiss states that actual sentences for federal crimes are typically less than the maximum sentence."
Well, there you have the report from Southern Nevada News Network that Hunter Biden has been indicted in 3 counts of making false statements. In short, lying. It could be perjury. It could amount to obstruction of justice. It could be anything. But the fact that the prosecutor said that typically sentences like this are not given out to be the maximum sentence, I could only hope and pray that justice is done in this case against Hunter Biden, because nobody is above the law. Because now nobody says it. Nobody's above the law, because we got the rule of law in society, and the rule of law counts, and nobody is above it. And if you want to lie on not only paperwork but in court documents specifically, then you do deserve to have the book thrown at you. And all you liberal people that think that this is just misinformation and blowing things out of proportion, let's remember, Hunter Biden is a self-admitted crack addict. And anyone who is a crack addict that has a firearm is a very dangerous person. In short, they are a criminal and deserve to be held accountable for their actions. And with that, I'd like to remind everybody again to hit that like button, subscribe to WBYT and the Wild Bill YouTube Network. Share this content with your friends and family. Feel free to comment. And with that, we'll see you in the next show. Bamapi.
So, controlling the sense of the possible. Because if you're doing things out here, and you've got the sense of the possible here, then when people like me say, this is what's going on, that goes, you're bloody mad, that's not possible, that can't be going on. And the biggest problem is that, and it's not every one of them, by the way. I was talking to one the other day who was very kind of intelligent, involved in all this, but this, in general, is my experience after 25 years of the perception of the possible of a mainstream bloody journalist. And that's why people who speak the greater truth, and have done throughout the period of the media, have invariably been ridiculed and dismissed, because that cannot perceive that the possibility that it can be true.